Namaste, and welcome to this Asana Video Manual. My name is McGraw.
And my name is Bob Smith.
And we are thrilled to bring to you this particular video series that's based on our Asana Photo Manual. Enjoy.
This offering is arm balances. We'll begin with Moon Salutation and then take it from there. Spread your feet about 3 feet apart. Turn to the right. We'll start with the Moon Salutation. Triangle begins it. Fold into the right hip joint. As you fold into the right hip joint, find the triangle position. The sacrum on the left side rolls back. The ribs roll back. The left arm vertical. Inhale. 2 more breaths. Exhale. Reach through. And 1 more inhale. Possibly the left arm over the ear. Exhale. Complete the triangle with whatever arm position works for you. And then back out a little. Come up and bend the right knee. Widen your leg base by a foot or so. Push off the right quadricep. Open the right hip. Extended side angle is the second position. Lightly the hand down to the ankle. And then up and through with your left arm. Inhale. Both hips open. Exhale. The left hip rolls open. The ribs lengthen and roll back left. The left arm reaches through. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Extend your side on the left side. Reach through. And release. From here, pivot. Turn the back foot. Inhale. Up to warrior. Warrior number 2. 2 more breaths. Inhale. The back knee could bend a little bit. Exhale. Drop the pelvis, lift the ribs. The back bend, shoulders down the back. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Reach through the warrior. And then push off the knee. Bring your left knee down. The quadricep stretch. Push off your right quadricep with your hand or forearm. The left hand lands along the hamstring. And possibly even down to the calf. He's doing the mermaid, a slightly more challenging position for the quadricep. They're both good for the quads. 1 more breath, inhale. And exhale, turn back left in either case, opening that front of the hip joint on the left side. And then release. And we're going to swing back. And if the knee is okay, your left knee is okay, we'll sit on the foot. He is showing the Hanuman posture as an alternative if your hamstrings are loose. In either case, it's a hamstring stretch of the right leg. Fold over that right leg. On the inhale, steady. On the exhale, tip the pelvis back, reach out low ribs, allow the right hamstring to lengthen. And 1 more breath, inhale. You see how Ki is working it? It's a pulsation of energy through the body. And complete the forward bend here. And then if you're sitting on the foot, you're going to bring that left foot to the inner right thigh. In either case, we'll bring the left foot to the inner right thigh. Left hand down by the buttock. You're going to come up on your left hand, left knee, and you'll reach through the right leg. Inhale. Half circle mandala. Roll back right. Inhale. You might walk your left hand in a little. Exhale. Enough space to the left low back so you can reach to the right side and turn back right. You can see with Ki it really can turn back almost to the floor. And 1 more. Exhale, open the right low back, right low rib cage, right on through the right shoulder. And release. And then we'll come out and proceed to the crossed over. So with the left leg back, bend into the right leg. You're going to come across with the left elbow. Push against the thigh with your elbow. The thigh pushes out against the elbow. Low back turns. And 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Reach through. And then come up off the ground with your back leg. Warrior for a moment. Open up. And 1 more breath. Round it, lift up 2, spread 2 in the warrior. and then come forward, extended side angle, crossed over. Left elbow comes across. Stabilize the back leg, the left inner thigh. Reach through the back leg, reach out with the low ribs, turn into the mid-upper back on that right side. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale and turn. It's really good for the low back if you're stable. And then release. One more pose on this side. Rotated triangle. Come in with your leg base. And rotate the triangle. Left hand touches the floor or the shin. And then you're rotating into the right mid-upper back. The right hamstring and outer thigh is the main stretch. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale and reach through the pose. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale and reach through the pose. And then release. Come up. And we'll shift. Move around a little bit in between sides. And he'll be the voice for the second side.
So allow yourself a moment to rest into your forward restful posture, Prasarita Padottanasana, with the legs leg distance apart, hinging at the hips, folding forward, maintaining that long neutral spine, and allow yourself to integrate the energies that have gotten freed up from your first side. Just one more breath here. Now as you release from the posture, draw your way back up to vertical. And as we do, let's open the left leg to the left. Using your hands on your hips, help to square the pelvis forward. And in doing so, hinge in that left hip, sending both sides of the pelvis down towards the right heel. Staying long and neutral through the torso, developing through the armless variations, you can feel the core connection. One more breath here. As you release, allow that left hand to come anywhere along the left leg that serves you. Reaching up through that right arm. Head and eye gaze, turn and look to the right. You might consider reaching the right arm directly away from the right hip. And one more breath here. And when you release from the posture, come on back up. And bending your left knee, slide your right foot a little farther away. With the hands on the hips, help to direct the pelvis forward, and emphasis is on wrapping that right hip back as the left hip deeply hinges, both sides of the pelvis referring to the right heel, staying long and neutral through the waistline. Test it in your armless variation, feeling that core connection, and then from here, as you're able, we'll take it to the traditional arm position for some support. Left arm along that left leg, as the right arm reaches that long opening of the side of the body, up and overhead, and one more breath. As we release from the position, pivot on your back foot. Bending your right knee, draw your pelvis up to vertical. And reaching the arms overhead, head and eye gazes upward in Virabhadrasana, and gradually progressing, allowing yourself to deepen to such a point that the right knee will come onto the ground. Once it's on the ground, we have some options. Hands along that left thigh to help you to lift through the head and the chest as you turn and look to the right. And the gradual development of turning and looking to the right with the right arm anywhere along that right leg. As you're able to consider drawing right heel into the buttock, you might hold on to that with the right elbow. And as the left arm reaches up and overhead, holding onto the right hand with the left, creating a mermaid's tail with our arms and our leg. And one more breath. As we release from the posture, we'll start to shift back, hips onto the heel as you fold forward in Triangmukha Kapata Paschimottanasana, the three-limbed forward bend with the spinal length maintained. Others of you might join me instead in Hanumanasana, with the hips evenly squared, lengthening through the spine. And with it, this time through, allow yourself to take it into that deeper forward bend. And one more breath. Now as you release from the posture, you can draw your way back and up. Free up your right foot and right knee to place them on the inside of the left thigh. With the right hand by the right hip, you can press up onto it, as well as right knee and the left foot, pressing the pelvis forward. reaching that left arm up and back behind you. And breathing as you're reaching through. And one more breath here. When you release from the posture, come on back down and retracing our steps. Draw your right leg back behind you so you can come up onto the right knee and the left foot. Rotating your crescent position, right elbow can cross over the left thigh. And prayer position to lift as you turn and look to the left. And one more breath here. Releasing from the posture, untwist, and lifting up your right knee. Draw the pelvis up to vertical so your arms can reach overhead. Exhaling, deepening in Virabhadrasana. And then from this foundation, let's rotate extended side angle. Right elbow crosses the left thigh. Prayer position to lift. As you turn and look to the left. And breathing as you're reaching through. And one more breath here. You release from the posture, untwist, straightening your left leg, draw your right foot in, lengthening through the spine, lift through the head and the chest, finding your way into the pyramid base, from which we'll rotate the triangle. With the spine long and neutral, and the right hand anywhere along that left leg, turn and look to the left, reaching that left arm upward towards the ceiling, breathing as you're reaching through in your rotated triangle. Prasarita, Trikonasana, and one more breath. As you release from the posture, come on back to center and into your forward restful position. Give yourself a little space in which you can bend one knee at a time, shifting side to side, easing out through the hips. And similarly, bending one elbow at a time so you can circle through your shoulders. And one more breath here. As you release from the posture, draw your way back up to standing and take your legs back together, grounding in this warming sequence and flow with 3 breaths. Inhale, expand the arms to the side body. And exhale, collect your energy, bring them back to center. 2 more times. Inhale as you expand the arms sideways. And exhaling, collecting that energy, bringing it back home again. 1 more time like this. Inhale to expand and open. And exhaling. Well, now with that energy well centered, we'll start to shift into more specific work from a down dog dance, into which we'll be using the upper body considerably.
This is a short down dog dance. Find your down dog position. As you're in the down dog, lift the low belly, lift the pelvis, lift the low shoulder blade area. Just find a 4-limb dog. And then we're going to release 1 arm at a time, so we'll be standing on 3 limbs. Choosing the left arm first, you're going to release your right hand off. And so at first, just barely off, make sure your balance is to the left side and the feet. And then possibly your right hand comes up by the right hip. The right side stays strong, the left shoulder opens a little bit. And finish, and then take that right hand down. And of course we'll do the second side. Shifting the weight some towards the right. Release the left hand. The right shoulder opens, the elbow comes in slightly, so you're trying to keep it on track. Low belly lifts, open the right shoulder. It's a challenge for it. 1 more. Reach through. And release. From here, come down and recuperate a little. We're going to do side plank.
Even with 1 leg as well as 1 arm on the same side. Yeah.
We'll try lifting 1 leg and 1 arm. So raise your left leg and the left arm. Let's do that again. Okay, we're going to proceed by doing a 2-limb dog. bear the weight through the right hand, release your left hand. We're going to then eventually raise your left leg. It's a challenging position. Watch key, you have to work that right side for the balance, of course. And one more breath. What does it take? It takes core. And then release and come down. Second side, you'll raise your right arm, bearing the weight through that left hand, and then the right leg releases up, and maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. Open and release it, and just come down from there and rest for a moment in prayer position. Just a brief rest. The arm balances heat the body up, and we get a lot of energy, but we need to tame it, control it, move it through. From here, we're going to come up and do the side plank. A little bit of a wider hand to feet distance in your down dog. Side plank, it's a pivoting of the whole pelvis. So walk your left hand in. You're going to pivot onto the edge of the left heel foot. The right foot's over the inside edge of the left. And the balance is challenging. Pelvis square, right hip not flying back. Scapula down the back on the left side. Right arm up, possibly over the ear with your right arm. One more breath, try to reach through the side plank. And release. And come down. And the second side. Walk the right hand in towards the midline. You pivot on the edge of the right foot. And we come, turn back left. Square the pelvis. Don't let your left hip fly too far back. And so secure it through the pelvis and the belly, the right scapula. Reach through. And Key is showing a couple variations. One more breath. Wrap that right scapula back, reach through the pose, side plank, and release. And then let's come out and rest in prayer position.
Now from strengthening the upper body in that little down dog dance, we'll start to shift into true arm balance, which is crow or bakasana. There are a couple of different variations of it, and as such I'll be demonstrating and instructing you into the low crow, which is preferred in many ways. Bob will be showing you the variation towards high crow as you're able to. In this way, in low crow, the hands are nice and wide apart, and the elbows come onto the inner knee crease, so you can press the knees open utilizing the elbows. In the high crow, when Bob shows that, you'll see his arms will be quite a bit closer together. In this way, as we're able, we start to shift forward. Head and eye gaze looks forward, and as you start to feel your stability, we lift the feet, and we lift the tailbone, and we continue lifting the head and the chest, bringing the shoulders down the back. Now in the high crow, there's a rounding in the upper back. And when you're ready, you can come on back out of that. And so you can see the variation in Bob's demonstration, a higher crow with a rounded spine. In either position, as it serves you best, make sure that your breath is free and deep and no harm done. We'll try that one more time. And the low crow, the elbows are in the knees. We press and open those knees to the side. You might continue to work with your crow in this way, or as Bob is demonstrating, even as we next come into the challenging side crow. Just one more breath here. When you release from the posture, come on back down, and you might again allow yourself a moment's prayer position. Of course, you can pray in any posture you like. Just allow yourself to catch your breath and to feel the effects.
Side crow is our next position. Come up, it's a squat. And Swing your knees towards the right. You're going to take your right hand in front of the left foot. You try to bring both knees up by the right armpit, the outside of it. It's a fairly wide base hand position, at least shoulder distance. And then you're going to lean into that right elbow. The weight comes up on top of the right thigh. Both knees bend at first. Now the legs could straighten. It's more difficult. One more breath. Tip the pelvis back, reach through, and release. Side crow. Of course, we have the second side. So for the second side, you're going to shift the knees to the left. Left hand in front of the right foot. The wide hand position. The chest is going to go between the hands. And as you come between the hands with the chest, the hips raise into side crow. Couple more breaths. One more. And release. Come down. Very taxing, very challenging, very invigorating after you recover. Take a moment. Prayer or child's pose.
And as you're able, when you come on back up, we'll start to shift into a little bit of a sequence that are beginning style hand balances. And as such, if these work for you, you might employ them during other practices when things are a little bit more challenging. To start with Lolasana, in which we take the feet broader apart than the hips, and we reach the arms back with the elbows opening just slightly. You can start to walk your feet closer to one another. Now if you balance just there with the toes together, and this is a pendant posture or an earring posture, you might start with the feet on the ground and gradually lifting those feet a little bit. Just one more breath. When you release the feet and give yourself a little bit of a break, you can shift forward. That same work without binding the feet together starts to develop us into Tiripasana, or the insect posture. Initially you might explore just lifting one leg, requiring quite a bit of hamstring flexibility as well as that core strengthening. You might experiment with the other leg, and that's with or without this foot on the ground. As you release from here, give yourself a moment to refresh, maybe shifting body weight forward to get off the hands just a little bit. And then when you're ready, you might consider the movement towards lifting both legs. Initially, you might shift back in that way, so you could anticipate that, making sure that you have plenty cushion behind you. In having a sense of how much we need to shift forward, we do so with the head and chest coming forward to counterbalance the pelvis moving back behind us. And the gradual movement to extend through the knees as we breathe and reach through insect. And one more breath. When you release, you can come on back down onto the cushions behind you, or simply into forward bend. And giving yourself just a moment engagement of your breathing and your focus in that way, making sure that you are ready to go for the next challenging posture, which is Asana.
Pose of 8 limbs. It's a little like side crow, however, it's a little different too. Let's take your right leg under, your left leg over, and then your left arm's going to feed through between the two knees. You're going to bring that arm quite forward, and then you're going to shift the weight off of the pelvis. The ankles hook, creating a easier balance. Once you're there, the pelvis tips, the back's parallel to the floor. You're reaching through the legs, reaching back through the pelvis, out through the neck. One more, obviously the arms need to work. Reach through as you exhale. And come out. and make your way to the second side. On the second side, the left leg is under, the right leg is over, right hand feeds through, and the wide hand base, you come up off the ground with your left hip, and then the legs start to squeeze against the arm, against the bicep and tricep of the right arm. Pelvis tips back, ribs reach out. Couple more breaths, reach through the pose. And one more. And reach through. And release. And now Ki will show the pose of 8 curves, the Ashtanga pose. So watch as she crosses the one leg behind the other, and then leaning forward. The underneath leg squeezes up, the top leg squeezes down, and then there's the pose of 8 curves. Second side. Right arm feeds through, pelvis lifts, and then the squeezing against the arm with the legs, pulling out with the chest, reaching through, and forms 8 curves. And come out. From here we're going to go to peacock. Let's rest for a moment. And in the rest, let's stretch our front of the wrists out, since we're pushing through the heel of one hand, the fingertips turning back, and pushing through the heel of the other hand back and forth. And then from there, we'll turn it into the peacock. There's the beginning of curling the back. It's the cat position with the back. The elbows come in to the belly, and then we lean out and come off the ground with the feet and the head, reaching through the pose. Peacock. The legs are like the feathers of the peacock being displayed, the chest pulling out. And very taxing pose, very energizing. Come down and rest. Prayer position or child's pose.
And in your resting, no doubt you'll be noticing how it is that the arm balances are very invigorating and also very heating. And as such, as we shift next into just a little bit of pranayama to focus on here, the effects of the arm balances, we'll shift it into some cooling breathing. And doing so, calling upon the Crobic breath or Satali, and in this way you'll be breathing in and out through your mouth. You can do that in one of 3 different tongue positions, and as such, one of them that Bob can demonstrate is to stick out the tongue and make a straw with the tongue. And some folks can't do that. And as such, a couple of other ways that we could do the work would be to simply take the tongue behind the teeth in the Satali breath so that you're breathing through the mouth, around the tongue. And the third possibility is simply to purse the lips forward, and you can then inhale through the lips. So any of these 3 positions will result in greater cooling of the energies within your body. And as such, let's begin now. Exhaling. Inhaling through the mouth for 8 heartbeats. And then exhaling for the same count of 8 heartbeats.
But through the nose.
Now inhale through the mouth. And exhaling through the nostrils, still maintaining the long and neutral spine. And one more time like this, inhaling through the mouth. And exhaling through the nostrils. And in this way, pausing to notice the cooling effect of this particular pranayama And if you're needing a little bit more of that, you might continue here on your own. This is now concluding the Asana Video Manual's offering of arm balances. Namaste.
Namaste.